Is the screen visible? Screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Right. Am I audible, friends? Sound is clear? Sound is clear, friends?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. In the last class, I discussed about the different types of counters, starting from the up counter, down counter, and up down counters. Right? Various counters we discussed in the last class, and we have gone through few of the programs we discussed on the PLC ladder rung. That is various programs with the PLC programming part. Okay, that we discussed in the last class. In continuation with the counters, let us see the next part, that is cascading of counters. Now, what is meant by cascading of counters? Cascading, what does it mean? Any idea? What does it cascading mean? Cascading means connecting the counters one after the another, or the output of one counter is connected as input to the next counter. That is what is meant by cascading the counters. That is, output of first counter is applied as input to the second counter. Output of second counter is applied as input to the third counter. This arrangement we call it as cascading, right? And such counters, when they are cascaded in such an arrangement, it is called as cascading of counters. Depending on the application, it may be necessary to count the events. Now, what will happen? Some applications demand less count. Some applications we require count to be less. But for some applications, we require larger count values. Count values should be large, right? So we have to see the application, and accordingly we have to use the counters. If less count is required and it is not exceeding the maximum limit of that counter, the maximum value of that counter is say 32,763, and if the counter value is say 30,000, 30,000 is less than 32,000, it is not exceeding the maximum limit of that counter. Hence we have to use a single counter. A single counter is sufficient. If the count required is more than 32,763, right, more than 32,000, then it requires more than one counter to be connected. We have to see the application, and accordingly, based on the requirement, we have to connect the counters. Okay? Use the counters, either single counter or we can use multiple counters. It may be necessary to count events that exceed the maximum number allowable per counter instruction. One way of accomplishing this is by interconnecting or cascading two counters. We can connect two counters together. Such arrangement is nothing but interconnection or cascading of two counters. The next figure illustrates the application of this technique. As we can see in this figure, two counters are connected. That is, count up counter and one more up counter. They are connected in cascade. Right. This is how it is connected. As we can see here, it is one counter. We are using one counter. Another counter is used below the first counter. So two counters are used together. We'll see it's how it works, the working of this program, the ladder logic program. The output of the first counter is programmed into the input of the second counter. Output of the first counter, that is up counter C5:1. Okay, so this is connected as input to the second counter. You can see here C5:0. This is done bit of this counter, second counter. This is applied as input to first counter. If I consider the top counter as first one, the below counter as second one, C5:0/done bit, it is the output bit of the second counter. Is it not? This is applied as input to the first counter. This is applied as input to the first counter. So this is how they are connected in cascade. That is, output of one counter connected as input to the next counter. The status bits of both counters are programmed in series to produce an output. These two counters allow twice as many counts to be measured. This is having the maximum value of 32,000. and second counter is having a maximum value of 32,000. What will be the total count? The total count will be 32,000 into 2. Okay, that will be the maximum limit of this counter. Let us see the working of this counter. Here the count button is there. This is the count button for starting of the counter. When we press it, this PB1 switch is pressed. PB1 switch is pressed. Then as PB1 is pressed, this is examine if closed. Examine is closed, this will be closed. And when this closes, C5 colon 0 slash done. Okay, C5 colon 0 slash done. So this is the done bit of the first counter. So this is applied, PB1 is closed means this is connected to this one shot rising reset instruction, which remains for one logic rung scanning. It remains on for only one scanning of the ladder logic program. And after one scanning process, again it will be reset, even though the input event is present. This we have discussed in our previous class. Yes. Now here we are applying the PB1 switch is closed. This is connected as input to the one-shot rising reset instruction. This is also activated. This is energized. Then output of this is applied as this is one more instruction, count up instruction. This is also energized, because of which the count up counter starts to count. It starts to count from 0 value, accumulated value is 0, 1, 2, 3, like this. It counts up till 32,000. It counts up till 32,000. Then once the done bit becomes equal to 1, once the done bit becomes equal to 1, C5 colon 0 slash done bit. This is connected here. This is connected here. When this is 1, this will be closed. This becomes true. And OSR instruction, this also becomes true. One more OSR is used, reset instruction. And then here this counter will be energized, the up counter, that is first counter. And this now counts from 0 to 32,000. After this counts from 0 to 32,000, the done bit will be 1. As the done bit becomes 1, this becomes true, that is C5 colon 0 slash DN. This becomes true, examine if closed. OSR one shot rising reset instruction becomes true. The up counter becomes true and it starts to count. Till what value it will count? From the accumulated value 0 up till the maximum value 32,000. Okay. Then after it goes to 32,000, the maximum count value done bit will be equal to 1. As done bit becomes equal to 1, let us see what will happen next. As we can see here, when both the done bit becomes 1, C5 colon 0 done bit is 1, and after this is energized, the upper rung, first rung, because of which the upper counter done bit also becomes 1. When both of them become 1, C5 colon 0 slash DN, below counter done bit becomes 1, and C5 colon 1 slash done bit of upper counter becomes 1, the light will become on, or the lamp glows here. This lamp will glow. If we want to reset this operation, if you want to reset the counting process anytime, then we have to use reset button here. We have to press it. As we press this reset button, PB2 will be closed, and as PB2 closes, what will happen? The reset coils will be energized. These reset coils will be energized. C5 colon 0, this is the below counter, this will become 0, it will reset to 0, and C5 colon 1, this will also reset to 0. Okay. So both the counters will reset to 0 when we press the reset button simultaneously, because they are connected in parallel. Correct? Like this counter will operate in cascade, so that the maximum count value is twice the count value of a single up counter. Single up counter maximum count is 32,000. This will count from 32,000 plus 30,000. Totally it will be how much? 32,000 plus 30,000, 64,000 will be the count value that is counted by this arrangement. Okay. Are you following here, students? Yes. Are you following here? Any difficulty here in this program? Any difficulty in this program, friends? Yes, please. Any difficulty in this program, students? Prasad, any difficulty in this program? Prasad, any problem in understanding in this program? Praveen, any difficulty here in this logic? Haldankar Pratik Jitendra? Haldankar Pratik Jitendra?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Mahesh Kulkarni, any difficulty? Mahesh? Did you understand this, Mahesh? Mahesh is here? Okay. So I hope everyone understood here. Yes, Prasad, have you understood this? Any problem in understanding here? Anyone?
Understood, sir.
Okay, fine. Yes. Another method of cascading counters is sometimes used when an extremely large number of counts must be stored. Suppose if we want very large count value, extremely large count value, then one more method of cascading counters is used. Let us say we require a count value of 250,000. Okay, that is 2,50,000 count we want. This is possible by using only two counters. In the last program, what we saw here, we used two counters to produce a maximum count of how much? 64,000, right? But what is the next arrangement? In that, by using the same two up counters, we can produce a maximum count of 2,50,000. This is possible. The next figure shows how the two counters would be programmed for this purpose. Let us see the next figure. The operation of the program is like this. This is cascading counters for extremely large count values. This is PB1 switch. When it is pressed, PB1 switch, okay, what will happen? This will be closed. PB1 switch is closed. Count will be energized. Count will be energized. Yes. So here OSR will be true. This OSR will be true. One shot rising reset instruction, and the up counter becomes true. Up counter becomes true. That is first counter will be enabled because of this CU bit. The count up bit, the up counter is enabled. This is count up enable bit to enable counting in the upward direction. Then this accumulated bits will start counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this up till 500. After 500, what will be the done bit status? After the accumulated value counts up till 500, what will be the status of the done bit? Yes, anybody? What happens to done bit? Once the process is completed, what will be the done bit? Whether it is 0 or 1?
1.
1. It is 1. Fine. So when done bit becomes 1, this is done bit here, C5:1, done bit becomes 1. This coil is energized. This contact is energized. Okay. C5:1, done bit is energized. This becomes true, and the second counter will now start to count. Now here, as it has to count here, it will go from 0 to 1. This what is happening here is, as this becomes 1, the done bit when it becomes 1, and when this count, it counts from 0 to 1. Here, as we can see, C5:1 done bit, it is connected to reset instruction. That means as soon as the count of the first counter, it reaches 500, the done bit becomes 1. As a done bit becomes 1, the second counter is enabled. It counts from 0 to 1, the first count. Then C5:1 done bit, as it is energized here, the reset instruction is energized, or it is activated. Reset coil is energized. So when C5:1 is energized here, C5:1 reset coil is energized. Because of this upper counter 5:1, this will be reset. 5:1, this will be reset, and whatever starting maximum count value is there, it is 500, that will become 0. That will become 0. Right? Then again, next when it becomes 0 here, this count is we are pressing this push button. So again there will be the count operation. One shot rising instruction becomes true. Again this will count now. From what to what value? 0 to 500. 0 to 500. then done bit becomes 1, this done bit becomes 1, C5 colon 1, it becomes true, count up counter, second up counter becomes true, and it will count from 0 to 1. Last time it was 0 to 1, this time it will be 1 to 2, it goes from 1 to 2, right? And then now still the done bit of second counter is not 1. When it will be 1? When accumulated value becomes equal to preset value. Okay, so the first counter again it is reset by the C5 colon 1 slash DN bit, and then again it starts to count from 0 to 500. So this process repeats. This process repeats up till this 500 times repeats for how many times? This once it goes from 0 to 500, this is going from 0 to 1, second counter. Again, when first counter goes from 0 to 500, second counter is going from 1 to 2. So like this, for every 500 counts of the first counter, the second counter is incremented by 1. Second counter is just incremented by 1. Like this, when it goes 500 for how many times? 500 into 500 times. 500 into 500 times, the total count will be 2,50,000. 2,50,000 is a maximum count that we can get from this particular arrangement of the counters. There is a reset switch here. When this reset switch is pressed, this reset contact is energized, and if we want to operate it manually, right, operate it manually, this is C5 colon 1 done, it is automatically resetting the count value. But suppose in between, if we want to reset the counter manually, we can do that. That is by pushing the PB2 switch. This PB2 reset switch, when it is pressed, this contact is energized, reset instruction is energized, because of which reset this C5 colon 1 up counter accumulated value will become 0 from whatever existing value. Then when the same reset instruction is pressed, C5 colon 2 reset coil is energized, and the below counter, the second counter count will also be reset. Then C5 colon 2 done bit, when this C5 colon 2 done bit is 1, that time the light coil is energized. This coil is energized here, which is connected to the lamp, and the lamp will glow. That means after 500 into 500 seconds, that means 500 into 500 times, that is 2,50,000. After 2,50,000 count, after the pressing of the PB1 switch, the light is going to turn on. So with the count of 2,50,000, this lamp will be glowing. This is the operation of this cascading counter, okay, to produce extremely large count values. I hope this ladder logic program is clear to everyone. Any problem in understanding here in this in the second program? Any difficulty in this? If you are having any questions, any difficulties, you all can ask. Such questions may be asked in examination. The possible question in examination may be explain the cascading of counters, right, for extremely large count value, or write a ladder logic program. They will mention like this: write a ladder logic program for extremely large count value. You will have to draw this ladder logic program and explain each rung. What is the first rung? What is the second rung? Third rung, fourth, fifth, right? Like this, you have to explain each of the rungs. The PLC programming they are asking in examination. Usually they are asking PLC programming because the subject is completely based on the ladder rung diagram. Hence, they are definitely bound to ask the PLC programs. Okay. Any difficulty here, students? Mahesh, any difficulty?
No, sir.
Mahesh?
No, sir.
Okay. Prasad, any problem in understanding? Any doubts here? Prasad?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, we'll proceed further. That is, counter C5 colon 1 has a preset value of 500 and counter C5 colon 2 has a preset value of 500. Whenever counter C5 colon 1 reaches 500, it's done but resets counter C5 colon 1 and increments counter C5 colon 2 by 1. When the done bit of counter C5 colon 1 has turned on and off 500 times, the output light becomes energized. That means when it goes for about 500 into 500 counts. Therefore, the output light turns on after 500 into 500, that is 2,50,000 transitions of the count input. Next, we can see cascading of counters for extremely large counts using retentive timer. Okay, retentive timer. Here, as we can see in this diagram, can you make a guess of this, students? What may be the program? What may be this program? Can you make a guess of it? Can you make a guess of it? What it can be? Anybody? Any guesses here? Yes, please. Look into the diagram and tell me which application it is. It is providing time in seconds, minutes, and hours, right? Which application it is?
Watch.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, stopwatch.
What is the application? Yes, stopwatch, or you can say clock, programming on clock, right? Clock programming, which provides the times in seconds, minutes, and hours. Okay. Let us try to analyze this program here. The first one is the first rung. It is in seconds. It is a retentive timer. We know the usage of retentive timer, why it is used. Retentive timer on is a timer which retains its time even after the power supply is off. Even after the power supply is turned off, the retentive timer accumulated value will be same. It will remain same. It will not become 0 or it will not reset. That is what is called as the retentive timer. The first one is the retentive timer. Second one is a normal up counter. Okay. Then the third one, it is also a normal up counter. Right. We are using retentive timer, normal up counter, 2 normal up counters and 1 retentive timer. Basically, here it is the combination of the timer and the counters. Okay. Though we are studying this in our last part of this first half of third module, right? Here, this is a combination of timers and counters. Then we are having the contacts and the coils. Let us analyze this. What happens here when the first rung is energized? When the first rung is energized here, right? When this timer is on, retentive timer, the accumulated value goes from 0 to 60. Accumulated value goes from 0 to 60. As the accumulated value goes from 0 to 60, then the done bit will become 1. Correct? Done bit becomes 1. First, what will happen? It is enabled. En bit will become 1. Accumulated value goes from 0 to 60. Yes, as the accumulated value goes from 0 to 60, what happens to done bit? Done bit dn bit will become equal to 1. T4:0 done bit, when it becomes equal to 1, this will activate here T4:0/dn. This up counter, it will count from 0 to 1. 0 to 1. That means 60 seconds it has counted now. 0 to 60. This minutes, how much it will be? It will increment from 0 to 1. It has counted 60 seconds. That is equal to 1 minute. It will go only from 0 to 1. Still the done bit is not 1 of the up counter. Then here what will happen in the retentive timer, T4:0/done bit. When this done bit is 1, it will reset the timer 4:0. This T4:0/done bit, it will reset the retentive timer. As it resets the retentive timer, whatever maximum count value was there, that is 60, that will become 0. That will become 0. Now again it will count from 0 to 60. Again it will count from 0 to 60. When it counts from 0 to 60, done bit will become equal to 1. Right? Done bit becomes 1. Then when this done bit becomes 1, here it is 1, T4:0/done. After this is 1, then what happens to up counter? Again it counts now. Now the count value from 1 to 2. Count value goes from 1 to 2. Yes. Next time, like this it will continue up till it counts how many? This is going counting the seconds, going from 0 to 60. This is counting in terms of minutes, 0 to 60. When it is counting 60 seconds, this is incremented by 1 every time. Like this, it is counting how many seconds? It is counting 60 minutes. How many seconds? 60 into 60. The number of seconds counted by this will be 60 into 60. Okay. Then once the done bit of second counter, after it counts 60 minutes, the done bit will be 1. This done bit C5 colon 0 slash done, this will be 1. That is, this will become true. C5 colon 0 slash done will be true. This will be activated, because of which the third counter will be true. The third counter will be true, and then the accumulated value goes from 0 to 1. Accumulated value goes from 0 to 1. Okay, it is in terms of hours. That means totally, now what is the time? Can you tell me? It has counted 60 into 60, 3600 seconds, and the hour count value is from 0 to 1. Can you tell me the time now? What is the time at present for this particular, status? What is the count value or the timing? Think and tell.
1 hour, sir.
1 hour, exactly. Because it has counted 60 to 60, that is in terms of seconds, or 60 minutes it has counted, and the hour counter has incremented from 0 to 1. Still, done bit of hour counter is not 1. Okay. Then next time what will happen? This again it will start from the retentive timer, right? This T4 colon 0 slash done bit will be it will be 1, and the reset is activated, because of which retentive timer reset will be turned on and its count will be 0. Similarly, C5 colon 0 slash done, that is the second counter. First counter in terms of minutes, that will become 0. Its count value becomes 0 because reset is energized, right? Reset coil is energized. Then the hour done bit is not 1 still, so it is not reset now. This will count again as it goes from 60, next 60 to 60 seconds. It will count from 1 to 2. That means the timing is now 2 hours. Like this is how it is going to be repeated, and total number of hours that it can count maximum is 24 hours. 24 hours is the maximum count, that is 1 day count it can perform, and accordingly whatever is the timing, it will provide that timing. Okay. Once it counts for 24 hours, dn bit becomes equal to 1. C5 colon 1 slash dn, this is 1, this is energized, and reset coil will be energized. This becomes true and reset coil is energized, and hence the hour counter, it is third counter, count up counter, this will become reset, and its count value will become 0. Okay. This is the program for providing the clock in terms of hours, minutes, and seconds. It's a clock program, 24 hours clock program. The question may be direct in the examination. Write a ladder logic program for 24-hour clock program or 24-hour clock period. You'll have to draw this ladder diagram and then explain rung, first rung, second rung, like this, one rung after the another. Right? Any difficulty here, students, in this program on clock? Any difficulty on this program? Is this program clear? Nimani Patil, is this program clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Okay. What about others? Everyone have understood this program?
Sir, at what time the CTU will reset, sir?
CTU.
50.
CTU. CT, no, which one you are talking about? CT, which one, which counter you are asking?
Minute counter.
Which one, last hour? Minute counter, okay. Yes. The first, this return to timer goes from 0 to 60. Correct? After it goes from 0 to 60, DN bit of return to timer on will be 1. This DN bit will be 1. When this DN bit becomes 1, T4:0 / DN, that is this DN. This is cascaded with the counter here. This becomes 1, this is true, and the up counter will be energized. This will go from 0 to 1 minute. 60 seconds equal to 1 minute. Then here T4:0 / done. This is 1. This is connected to the reset. That is, reset is activated. Because of the reset coil energized, the count whatever was there, maximum count of 60, that will become 0 in the seconds here. Return to timer on. It will again count from 0 to 60 like this. Done bit will be 1. Then next time it goes from 1 to 2. Here it will be counting how many? 60 into 60. So this will go from 60 every time, and this will go every time by just 1. Correct? Then as it goes from 60 like this for 60 times, okay, that is 60 seconds is 1 minute. So 60 minutes equal to how many seconds? 60 into 60 seconds, or it is 60 minutes. Then the done bit will become 1. As this done bit of the first counter, count up counter, is 1, it is here that they are used in this fifth rung, C5:0 / DN. This will become 1. As this becomes 1, it is reset. C5:0. This will be reset. That means this is becoming reset after 60 into 60 seconds. 3060 seconds count. After that, this minute time will become reset. After it is reset, then it will go to the hour counter, count up counter, second one, CTU, and again it will count. This will count for 24 hours. Every time this is going from 0 to 60. Once it goes 60 to 60, then this hour clock will be 1, hour counter will be 1. Then as it totally counts 60 into 60 into 24, that will be number of seconds. 60 into 60 into 24 in 1 day, in 24 hours. Correct? This will be 1, and then later finally when this done bit is 1, that will become 0. This hour counter will also become 0. Is it clear here? Understood this logic here when it will be reset?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. The next figure illustrates a timer counter program that produces a time of day clock measuring the time in hours and minutes. That is the program that we analyzed just now. The operation of the program is like this. This is one more program here in which they are providing the status. Right? There is a pressure switch, and by operating this pressure switch, when the pressure is to the certain level, when it is to the certain extent, that time the pressure switch will trip, and then the output light will be glowing because of the tripping of this pressure switch. Okay, let us see how it works. Here they are using the same concept what is discussed in the previous program. Here seconds, minutes and hours, it's the same rung that is used, but along with the pressure switch and the reset switch. Correct? Here pressure switch is initially in closed position. This is that is examine if closed. It is closed. Then reset is examine if closed. This is open here. Okay. That is, it is examine if closed, normally closed initially. Then this B3:0/0, this will be energized. This will be energized. As this is energized, then the set, this set is energized. The meaning of set here is whatever is the time value in hours, minutes and seconds, that will be displayed by this set. That will be displayed by this set. Okay. Then when this is energized, the lamp will glow. The set coil, when it is energized, the lamp is glowing. Internal B3:0/0, this is energized. This is examine if open. Okay, this is examine if open. Suppose say the pressure has reached a certain value, so it has to now open the pressure switch. It has to trip, okay, so as to cut off the pressure. Now pressure has reached certain limit, you have to cut off the pressure. This pressure switch will trip. So it will become examine if open. It is examine if open. This will open. Trip switch will be activated because of this opening of examine if open instruction. This is a trip coil energized and the trip lamp will glow. Trip lamp will glow. The trip lamp will glow once the B3:0/0 this examine if open contact is energized, because the pressure that is this B3:0, this is examine if open. When this is open, the trip coil will be energized. Okay. Well, let us see when this will be energized. Examine if open. We'll analyze the remaining part of the program. B3:0/0. This is energized. Okay. Here it is. Okay. That is here when we provide the input supply to this rung B3:0/0, it is examine if closed. This will be energized, right? When we are applying the input supply voltage, then this timer starts to operate in terms of seconds, minutes, and hours. Okay, it operates and it provides the required time. Whatever is the set time, whatever is the time at that particular instant, that will be displayed here, and the set coil will be energized and the set lamp will be glowing. This is done bit. Done bit is connected here, T4:/DN. This is making this count to go from 0 to 1 minute count. Then this is counting 60 to 60. Then C5:0/DN, that is this up count is connected as input to the hour counter. This will count every time as it goes from seconds and the minutes goes from 60 to 60. The hour counter will go from 0 to 1. Like this, it counts from 16 to 16 to 24, and then the DN bit will be equal to 1 of the hour. T4:0/DN, when it is 1, reset is activated. It is reset coil is energized, because of which seconds will be 0. Then when this C5:0/done, it is minute counter done bit, it is 1, reset coil will be energized and the minute up counter will be reset. C5:1/DN of the hour up counter, when it is energized, reset coil is energized and then it is reset to 0. Basically what is happening here, when the pressure switch is released, this internal B3:0/0, this is becoming true, examine if open, so this is becoming true, because of which it is trip coil is energized and the trip lamp will glow. That is, trip lamp will be glowing only when the pressure has reached a certain limit. It has about to exceed the maximum value, that time it has to trip, it has to cut off the pressure. Correct? This is how this works, so as to limit the pressure value to the required extent and discontinuing the pressure to the later part of the circuit if the pressure has reached its limit. Any problem in this ladder logic program, students? Is it understood here? Any difficulty in this program?
Sir, what is the application of this ladder logic program? At what where it is applied?
This particular ladder logic program is applied in the industry where the pressure value has to be monitored. That in pressure, wherever they are using pneumatic valves and they want to check, you want to keep a check on the pressure of the pneumatic valve. Yes, there it is being used. That means every time they are checking, monitoring whether the pressure is to the required value or not, whether a pressure has reached its limit or not. If it is less, then they are continuing with the next part of the circuit. They are transmitting the pressure to the next part of the circuit. If it is more, and if the pressure is being allowed, it is going to say damage the next part of the circuit, then they are going to cut off the pressure. The pressure has to be cut off, and therefore the pressure valve has to open up, the pneumatic valve has to open up, and then to provide the protection to the remaining part of the circuit, thus avoiding the damage to the remaining part of the circuit. Okay, so it is used in industry, pneumatic industry. Basically, in pneumatic industry where the pressure has to be monitored, in such industries, this particular ladder logic program is being employed. Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Any other questions here on this ladder logic program?
No, sir.
Okay. The next type of application or the topic is incremental encoder counter applications. Incremental encoder counter application. I have explained this in the previous classes where we are using an optical encoder. Optical encoder. Optical encoder is, there is a rotating disc connected to the shaft. Because of the shaft movement, the disc is rotating. The disc is rotating. The light is made to incident on the disc. The light is made to fall onto the disc. On the periphery of the disc, rotating disc, there are slots. There are slots, and the light which falls on these slots will passes through the slots, and it is available to the other side. It is available to the other side where the process of conversion from light to electrical energy goes. It is converting from light to electrical energy, and because of the conversion, the electrical pulses are produced. The pulse is produced. If the light passes through one slot, one pulse is produced. The same light passes again, then second pulse is produced. If the light passes through some other slot, one pulse is produced. Like this, the pulses are produced, and based on the pulses, the rotation velocity of the disc can be measured. The velocity with which the disc is rotating or the shaft is rotating, that can be measured. This setup is called as the encoder application. It is optical encoder. Optical encoder. And here we are using this application along with the counter. That's why it is called as incremental encoder counter application. The meaning of incremental encoder is every time when the light passes through the slot, there is generation of one pulse. There is generation of one pulse, because of which it is called as incremental. It goes on incrementing. Every time it is passing, there is one pulse. Second time, second. Like this, there is producing of the pulse every time, and hence the name given to this is incremental encoder. And as it is used also along with the counter, it is called incremental encoder counter application. This particular application is being employed here. Here there is a job, okay, a wood piece or any other metal piece. It has to be cut. It has to be cut through this cutter. It is a cutter control application. Here there is a rotary encoder. What I explained just now, an optical encoder or a rotary encoder, which allows the light pulses to be generated as the metal piece or the metal job or the wooden piece moves through. Okay, as it moves through on this conveyor, there is a electrical pulse being produced. It is converting the light energy into electrical energy. When these pulses are produced here, it is applied to the PLC. The pulses output is being applied to the programmable logic controller. This PLC, it will apply the cutter to the extent which is required. It means that suppose say the length of this piece of job or the length of the piece of the metal is say around 15 centimeter, and the standard size is say 5 centimeter. Then it will provide the cut, how much it has to cut. It has to strip off how much, 10 centimeters, so as to get a cut piece of 5 centimeter. It has to get the cut piece of 5 centimeter. Okay, then suppose say there is a next job, a next metal piece, and its length is say around 10 centimeter. Then it has to cut how much? It has to make a cut of 5 centimeter, so as to produce a standard metal piece length of 5 centimeter. this will continue. That means the PLC is the one which is controlling the length of the metal piece or the length of the job. Okay, this is how this application is used, so as to maintain the size of the metal piece to the standard size. The length of the metal piece is maintained to the standard size with the combination of the encoder and the PLC. Okay, as you can see, the wooden piece is coming out here. Whatever is being cut, that is removed, and the remaining piece of wood will come out of this conveyor belt. Okay. Is this clear here, students? This figure is clear here? Understood this figure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, please. Any questions? Any questions here, students? Students, what happened? Any questions?
No, sir. Any question?
Aldankar, Pratik, Jitendra, any questions? Okay. Okay. Shall we proceed? Prasad, shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us move on to the next part. This is the counter used for length measurement. It's a process, and the next one what we are seeing is the program. This is the process which shows the length measurement. This is a sprocket. Okay, the sprocket which is moving the conveyor belt. Right, the conveyor belt is being moved because of the sprocket arrangement, and the magnetic sensor is producing the pulses. The magnetic sensor is producing the signal or the pulse. This photoelectric sensor, it is maintaining a reference. It maintains a reference. That means when this photoelectric sensor is activated, right, the conveyor is not moving, the belt is not moving, the conveyor belt is not moving, it is under halt. That is being monitored by this photoelectric sensor. Let us, try to understand the ladder logic program here. Here, what is happening is when this sprocket moves for about 10 teeth of the sprocket when it moves, so it is moving for about 1 foot, or we say that the count is 10. When the sprocket moves, when it rotates for about 10 tooth arrangement, 10 teeth rotation, then it is moving by 1 feet. 1 feet, that is the standard ratio that they are maintaining. It is moving by 1 feet, and we say that this is calibrated in terms of 10 counts per foot. It is calibrated in terms of 10 counts per foot. Okay, this is how the calibration is done here. Now, based on this calibration, let us try to analyze this ladder logic program. Can you just think of it, students, how it will work? I told you the process, whatever is employed here. Now, can you just make a guess of how it will work? Can you make a guess of it? What is this magnetic sensor doing? It is applying the pulses. It is applying the pulses so as to count the number of tooth rotations. Right? Count the number of rotations of the tooth of the sprocket. Yes. Now, if it has to count here, then what is the ladder logic program? That we have to analyze. Okay. We have to write a ladder logic program so as to count the length of the job or the metal piece which is moving on the conveyor belt. Okay. Can you just analyze this program, friends? Anybody? It's a simple program. It has only 2 rungs. Can you just give a try? Anybody? Nimani Patil, can you just try? We have gone through number of programs now. Give a try. What happens in the first rung? What happens in the second rung? Simple. Haldankar Pratik Jitendra, can you give a try? Haldankar Pratik Jitendra. Try to make an attempt. Yes, anyone? Mahesh? Mahesh? Prasad, can you give a try? Prasad? These programs only they will be asking in the examination, and you will have to explain that with respect to every rung.
Sir, no idea, sir.
Now give a try. Here I explained you all the process. Just give a try. Magnetic sensor is there here, right? This will become closed. So when this is closing, what is happening here? This is true. What happens to the photo sensor? Initially it is not activated, so it examine if open. Just like this, you have to go on trying. Okay, when you give a try, definitely will get it. You know that, but just you have to give a try. Okay, if you give a try, definitely you will succeed in analyzing the ladder logic program. Now I explained you almost half part up till photo sensor. Remaining is there. Praveen, can you give a try? Praveen? Okay, I'll explain. There is a magnetic sensor here. You are applying the input voltage. Okay, magnetic sensor. This is closed, and as it closes, the pulses are applied to the sprocket. Okay, pulses are applied to the sprocket arrangement. Magnetic sensor. This is closed. Examine if closed instruction. This becomes true. As this becomes true, what about photosensor? Photosensor is initially in open state. Okay, it is not activated still. Yes, please. What happened? What happened?
Yes, sir.
What happened? Any problem? What happened? Any problem? Prasad?
Sir, no problem.
No problem, no? Okay. Yes. Praveen, any problem? Praveen?
Yes, my network is lagging, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay. We'll continue, no? Okay. Magnetic sensor is closed. Switch is closed. Magnetic sensor, this will be activated. Examine if closed instruction will be true. Photo sensor, this is not true still. Okay, that is, it is not activated still. It is examine if open only. This is true, right? Examine if open instruction, because it is false now. It is not yet activated. The counter is activated. The counter becomes true. As the up counter becomes true, it goes from 0 to 10. Okay, as we are applying the pulses here to the sprocket, it went as it is rotating. This counter is counting the number of tooth arrangement. It goes from 0 to 10. It counts from 0 to 10. 10 counts per foot. 10 counts per foot of the sprocket. Then as it counts 10 counts, then next is done bit. Done bit is activated, and once the done bit is activated, they are not connected this done bit anywhere, but that is the end of this counter. End of this counter. Suppose if you want to reset it, then we have to manually press this reset switch. When this reset switch is pressed, the reset coil is energized. The reset coil is energized, and then because of which, what is happening? The counter is going to reset. Whatever is the count value, that will become 0. Okay, this is a photo sensor. So this photo sensor, when it is activated, that time the conveyor belt is not under motion. That means the counting process will take place only when the conveyor belt is under motion. Basically what we are doing, we are counting the number of tooth on the sprocket, correct? Now if you want to count that, it is possible only when it is under motion. When it is not moving, that time the photoelectric sensor is activated. When this photoelectric sensor is activated, then this is closed. Photo sensor is closed. When it is closed, this examine if open instruction, this will become false, because it is true when it is open. When this is in open state, that time it is true. But now it is closed position, it is 1, that is, it is becoming false. As it becomes false, the counter will stop. The counter will stop, or the application will stop here. Okay. This is how we have to explain this application of the counter used for length measurement. Okay. The first one is the one which illustrates the process, and the second figure is illustrating the ladder logic program. Is it clear here, students? Any problem in understanding here? I hope everybody understood this application.
Sir, I didn't get what is the use of the photo sensor here.
Photo sensor, like it is checking whether the conveyor belt is halt or it is in under motion, right? What is the sensor? Basically, sensor is the one which checks for any presence of the object. It is sensing either the light energy. If it is sensing the light energy, it is photo sensor, right? If it is sensing the flow, it is flow sensor. Velocity sensor. If it is sensing the pressure, it is a pressure sensor, right? Like this, the sensor is the one which senses the input signal. It senses the input signal, or it measures the input signal. Similarly, here the photoelectric sensor, it is sensing the input signal, that is the movement of the conveyor belt. Movement of the conveyor belt is sensed here, and accordingly, it is a photoelectric sensor. It is converting the light energy which is reflected from this conveyor belt based on its movement, and the reflected signal is converted into electrical pulses, right? This is how it is. Light is incident on the conveyor belt. If it is under motion, the amount of light energy received is different. If the conveyor belt is at rest, it is not under movement, then the light energy received is different. Intensity of the magnitude of the light energy received is different. Based on this, it will judge whether the conveyor belt is under motion or it is at rest. To identify that, this is used. And one more application of this photo sensor is to bring it to halt, because as we have considered in this ladder program, we have programmed it in such a way that when the photo sensor is activated, this entire rung becomes false, right? Because when we are closing this photo sensor, here we are using examine if open instruction. Examine if open, this becomes false, because this is 1. Examine if open, this becomes false. When this becomes false, the entire rung, first rung becomes false, and the counter will be reset, or the counter will stop counting process. Is it clear, yes, students? Is it understood? Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, fine. Any other questions here, students? Any other questions here? Shall we proceed to the next? If your doubts are clear, shall we proceed to the next?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Many PLC applications use both the counter function and the timer functions. The next figure shows automatic stacking program that requires both the timer and the counter. We'll go through the next application of the counter and timer functions, combination of counter and timer functions. Okay, till now what we have studied, it is cascading of counters, right? Cascading of counters. The next application is, the second topic that we studied today is incremental encoder counter application, and the third one that we are studying is the combination of counter and the timer functions. Here there is a conveyor belt M1 on which the metal plates are moving. This conveyor belt, first conveyor belt, has to place these metal plates onto the second conveyor belt, and as it stacks, as the metal plates stack one above the another, right? It has to stack for how many number of stacks it has to make? It has to stack for about 10 metal plates. It has to count up till 10 metal plates, right? As it counts for 10 metal plates, then it has to be disposed of. That it has to be disposed of. So this has to be placed to the required cabin, and then again it will start from the conveyor 1 movement on to the conveyor 2, and then as it counts 10 metal plates, this has to be placed into some other cabin. Okay. Then there is a light sensor here. This light sensor is checking whether the metal plates is being moved from conveyor 1 belt to conveyor 2 belt. That is whether the stacking process is started or not. That is checked by this light source and the sensor. Okay. For this application, this is the program how it is. This is a stop switch. It is initially closed. Stop switch here. Start, we are pressing the start switch. So start is enabled. This is activated. This is also activated. It is already closed position. M2 coil. M2, it is second conveyor. Second conveyor. So this is under motion. Examine if open. This is normally true. Examine if open. It is initially true, right? And then this rung becomes true. This rung becomes true. Examine M2 coil is, it is stacking process. It has just started, and then M2 is under open condition. So examine if open becomes true, and M1 is energized. This M1 is energized. Motor M1 starts here. Okay. Then M1 is connected. M1 contact. This is energized. M2. This is again the same. M2 coil is energized because of M1 and M2 combination. Again this stop is also energized, because of which M1 will be energized. Another possible combination parallel branch is T4:1 done bit. That is when this done bit of the timer on delay runtime of M2, in which this conveyor stays for 5 seconds. It has to stay for 5 seconds, so that whatever metal plates are there, it has counted 10 metal plates, that will remain for 5 seconds. So it is kept to the required compartment. Okay, it is sent to the required place. It's required cabin. For that, they are taking a time of 5 seconds. Then how many plates they are counting? They are making a count of 15 plates, not 10 plates, 15 plates. Okay. When this done bit is becoming 1, that time also the M1, that is the first conveyor, M1 conveyor is turned on. Then there is the timer on when this M2 is energized. M2 is energized. That is the second conveyor when it starts to pile up the number of plates. As it starts to pile up, this is energized. The timer on delay starts, and it counts for how many seconds? 5 seconds. Okay, this is remaining for 5 seconds, the piled up number of plates. Here photosensor is there. As the light energy is incident from the light source to the sensor, the metal plates are being sent from conveyor 1 to conveyor 2. They are sent from conveyor 1 to conveyor 2. Because of which this photosensor is energized, and the up counter will count. It will count from 0 to 15. That is, it counting how many plates? Total 15 plates. It counts a total of 15 plates. As it counts a total of 15 plates, DN bit will become equal to 1. As DN bit becomes equal to 1, C5:1 DN, M2 is energized. This is for the photosensor up counter. Because of the done bit, the M2 is energized. That is here. This M2 conveyor is energized. Okay. Because of the up counter. Once the number of plates counting is completed, M2 is energized. M2 is connected here. Right? It is connected to the timer. As this is energized, this rung becomes true, and the timer on delay will start. It will count from 0 to 5. It is remaining for 5 seconds. It remains for the number of plates, 10, 15 plates will remain for 5 seconds. And then because of this time, within this time, the metal plates have to be kept at the required place, and then start with the next round of operation. Okay. T4:1, when this done bit becomes 1 after 5 seconds, then time reset coil is energized. C5:1, that is, this is energized. Because of this, the accumulated value will become 0. Then there is stop instruction. When the stop instruction is energized, it will become open. This condition becomes true, and the reset coil is energized again. T4:1. Then when the done bit is set, again the reset T4:1, this will be reset for the next round of operation. Then stop bit, it is examine if open. When the stop switch is energized, it is open. As it is open, it is going to energize the T4:1. that is second M2 conveyor runtime is energized. Okay, this is how it is either first counting the number of plates on the M2 conveyor, and as it counts 15 plates, it is waiting for 5 seconds till the metal plates are moved to the required cabin or to the required compartment. This is the application of automatic stacking program, which is a combination of counter and timers. Here we are using up counter and there is a timer. It's a combination of counter and the timer. Okay. Any problem in understanding this program, students? Any questions here? Any questions? Mahesh?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, Mahesh? Any doubts?
No, sir. No, no. All clear, sir.
Okay, fine. Prasad, any questions?
No, sir.
Praveen, any doubts?
No, sir.
Any questions on this program? Okay. We'll take one more program and then we'll wind up.
Sir, enough, sir.
This is again one more combination of timer and the counter. Here we are having combination of the timer and the counter, right? Switch S1 is closed. Switch S1 is closed. Timer input, this becomes true. This becomes true. As this becomes true, T4:0/done only when accumulated value becomes equal to preset value. Yes. So this done bit is 0. It is activated because it is examine if open. It is activated. It becomes true. As it becomes true, the timer on delay, this timer function will be activated. Timer is activated. It comes from done bit becomes 1. As the done bit becomes 1, this is connected as input to second count. That is second one. Count up counter. Output of timer done bit, that is done bit, is applied as input to the count up counter. This DN is 1. Examine if closed. It is true. When this will be true? When it is 1. When examine if open will be true? When it is 0. Remember these 2 points. This is examine if closed. Examine if closed instruction. This will be true when it is 1. Okay. Then this will be true. Examine if open will be true when it is 0. This is 1. As it is 1, it counts from 0 to 100. Okay, sorry, 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Right. Then as it is counting 0 to 1 here, because this done bit is applied again as input, again it is applied back. Right. Again it is applied back to the timer. When this is 1, this is de-energized. This is de-energized because it is activated only when it is 0. This is de-energized because of which this timer will be reset. Whatever maximum count it has counted, that is 10,000, that will become 0. Okay. When it becomes 0, again then what is happening? Because of the timer input timer, this is becoming true, and this DN becomes 0. DN becomes 0 because it has not reached the maximum value, preset value. If this 0 means it is activated, again it is becoming true, and this will be turned on. This will be turned on. Fine. As this is turned on, again done bit will be 1. When this is 1, again it will count next time from 1 to 2. Previous count was 0 to 1. The next time it will count from 1 to 2. As it counts from 1 to 2, done bit will be, it's still done bit is not 1. The same process is repeated for how many times? till 10,000 value is counted for 100 times. 10,000 count, it is counted for 100 times. That means what is the maximum count we can get here? Can you think of it? 10,000 into 100. 10,000 like this, it is repeating for how many times? 100 times. So 10,000 into 100. Okay, that will be the maximum count. Okay, so it comes out to around 10 lakh. 10 lakh will be the maximum count that we can get from this combination of timer and the up counter. Okay, then this timer input, it is examine if open instruction. This is timer input. When it is released, this will become true and the reset coil is energized, because of which the count value is reset to 0. Then C5:0 done bit, when the up counter it is 1, done bit is 1, the light will glow or the lamp will glow. That means students, after the time delay of 10,000 into 100, that is 10 lakh. After it counts for 10 lakh times from the starting of pressing of this switch, from the starting of the pressing of this timer input, that time the lamp will glow or the light will be turned on. This is a simple program which is the combination of the counter and the timer. In examination, the possible question on this particular ladder logic program may be write a ladder logic program for to drive a counter, for the timer driving a counter to produce an extremely long time delay circuit. The question on this will be probable question. Write a ladder logic program for the timer driving a counter. Timer is driving the counter. Output of this timer is applied as input to the counter. Timer driving a counter to produce an extremely large count value, extremely large or long time delay circuit. Okay. In today's class, I'll just make a recap of what all we have studied in today's class. We have started with cascading counters. What is meant by cascading? Definition of cascading. Then we have studied an application of cascading counter here, a small ladder logic program in which 2 counters are cascaded, 2 up counters are cascaded. Then in the next one, we have obtained a total count of 2,50,000. That is a maximum count that is obtained from this combination, this arrangement of cascading of 2 up counters. The previous one, it was just for about 64,000, the first one. The second one, we can get a maximum of 500 into 500, that is 2,50,000. Then in the third one, we are using a retentive timer, up counter, 2 up counters to obtain the clock program, 24-hour clock program, okay, in terms of hours, minutes and seconds. Next one, it is the same application for using the same timer clock program. We are activating or tripping the pressure switch whenever the pressure reaches its limit. Incremental encoder counting application. The possible question on this may be explain the incremental encoder counter application for measuring the length. Okay, that may be one possible question. Or write a ladder logic program for the incremental encoder counter application. So you'll have to draw this figure, small figure, did not be exactly like this. Small figure you can illustrate, give an illustration of what is the encoder, how the PLC is controlling the wood cutting process, and then this figure you can just draw, right? And then the ladder logic program. Okay. The next topic was on combining the counter and the timer functions, where we studied the automatic stacking program for moving the plates from conveyor 1 to conveyor 2, stacking the number of plates. This is the ladder logic program that we have written for the plate stacking process. The same, one more application, one more ladder logic program to illustrate the combination of timer and the counter, timer on and the counter up counter. This is all about the today's class. If you are having any questions, you all can ask. Any questions here on today's discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, in the next class, I'll be starting with the next part, that is the master reset instruction. Master reset instruction and other instruction, jump instructions. Okay, those we will take up, that is on
Sir, how many
program
modules
control
completed?
system. Yes, please. In third module, half is completed. Third one half is completed, yes. So remaining half is there, and then I may take around 3 or 4 periods for that. Okay, then we'll start with the fourth module. We'll see that. Okay. Any questions here, students? Anything else you want to ask? If you are having any questions to ask, you can ask. Nemani Patel, any questions? Okay.
No, sir.
Then we'll end up the class here, students. Okay, fine. We'll end up the class here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.